Ooh. Meow, 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 meow. Hey, I could do this. Hey. Hi. Hello. Welcome. Welcome to my humble abode. My lights are only half on. Oh well. Wait, let me give you a cat. I've got a cat. I've got a Dodgers. Dark and stormy nails failed to go wash your face. Well, I guess you should have done it faster. Hello Najwa, welcome, and welcome JJ and Leo, or I guess if you're saying Leo's a nerd, does that mean you're Leo or somebody else is Leo and you're calling them names? I'm going to assume, because I'm pretty sure that your handle elsewhere is Leo something else, so I'm going to assume you're Leo. The shirt, yes. The shirt is delightful. Hang on. The shirt is very, very good. It's very, very good. It's a good shirt. I got it from is that this I can't. I don't even know if it's available still. Startorialist. Like Sartorialist, but Startorialist. And the artist that made it was somebody whose business is Science Socks. They call themselves Science Socks because they make science socks. Hello, welcome Sylvia. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing today. So let's look at a cat for a minute and we'll chat. Functionally California sober. With your name inspired by an alcoholic drink. What is California sober? It is like the Menomina puppets. You're not wrong. Nerds are the best, I agree. We are all nerds here. The only thing better than nerds is cats, which is why the cat is up on stream. My little jammy Dodgers. My Dodgers puddin' pie. My jammy kablammy with her little lumpy beans. Such a good girl. Let me tell you, I've been experimenting a little bit and I am not happy with my results. And I don't think that I want to carry through with the stuff that I had been experimenting with. Ray had made a suggestion. I don't see Ray here yet, but I imagine she'll probably show up. She'd made a suggestion that I attempt something that Mako Manny over on Instagram has done. And I'd seen the technique from Mako Manny before. Mako Manny? I'm not sure. Anyway, I had seen the technique from her before, but I had not yet tried it. And there are two problems with the technique. So the idea was hang on. The idea behind the technique is that you paint like some glue on your nails, or like a mix of basically peely base, like a mix of glue and ethanol on your nails, and then while it's still wet, you drip in thinned out nail polish. And first, I was not finding my peely base was drying too fast, and it wasn't giving me good results. And also, it was like really spreading too much, like you see here. And then I tried just straight glue. I need to tell you, I was experimenting with this over half an hour ago, and it is still wet. If I just use straight glue. So I'm certainly not using that. And then if I tried it with top coat with thinner, this happened, which is interesting, but not the desired effect at all. So a super thinned out top coat, it did this. So you can see that I've gotten no decent results this way. Tiff, welcome. Hello. And then I did try one last thing, which was top coat with just a thinned out creme dripped in, just like a regular top coat, not super thinned. And this kind of works, but it does give some weird crackling. I don't know. It was also really difficult because you have to put the top coat on a little bit thick and then also work incredibly quickly, and it has to be super even. So I don't know about this. I think I would need a lot more practice with this technique before I would want to really try and do it on my nails, because I'm definitely not happy with any of the results that I got tonight. I mean, I'm not unwilling to continue experimenting with it, but I don't know that I really want to spend that much time on this when it's kind of not super promising. Like, this so far has been the most promising thing. Hello, who is this? Are you a tiny wasp? You're a tiny wasp. There's an itty bitty little parasitoid wasp. You probably can't see this. See this little guy? And I don't know what it's doing here. So parasitoid wasps, they're mostly quite small, and they lay their eggs inside, usually eggs or larvae, or sometimes adults. It just sort of depends on the species and what they're targeting. But yeah, they lay their eggs inside other critters. And then their babies eat the other critter as they're developing, and burst forth. Yeah, that was. Here's the thing about wasps. Most people, they hear the word wasp and they're immediately thinking, I know what a wasp is. That's a yellow jacket or a hornet. And they're thinking of a big stripy thing that, they think of as being something that wants to sting them or steal their picnic food. But that's like the tiniest fraction of wasps. There's like just a massive, massive number of wasps that are wildly different from that. And many of them look a lot like what you just saw, that incredibly tiny creature. There's a whole lot of wasp species that look like that. That are really tiny. There's even way tinier than that. And there's a whole lot of wasp species that are completely incapable of stinging. They literally don't have stingers. Yeah, so welcome to my TED Talk about wasps. Yeah, no, Najwa, I'm not saying, that you don't have, obviously those other wasps, the big ones exist. The ones that you have around your house might be the European hornet, or you could also have cicada killers down there. But I guarantee you also have a lot of different species of incredibly tiny, adorable wasps that you just don't know are wasps. There's also a bunch of bees that you don't know are bees. A bunch of flies that you don't know are flies. It's all kinds of weird shit. Yeah, no, there's a ton of wasps that are so the stinger is actually modified. It's a modified ovipositor. So something that evolved from an ovipositor, from a thing that is designed for just laying eggs in stuff. Whether that's, under the ground or in a host or whatever. They evolved from that, and a handful of species made themselves a real rigid version of that for defense. So yeah, Najwa, I wouldn't be surprised at all if you have a fair number of cicada killers down there. We have cicada killers up here as well. They're beautiful. I really love them, but they are very large. They're a very large, intimidating wasp. They also don't give a shit about you, so they have no intention of, like, you would really have to be doing something stupid to get stung by one. Although it totally is possible. Like, the biggest thing would be if you happen to accidentally step on one in bare feet in the grass. That's how you're going to get stung by a cicada killer. But other than that, it's not really a thing. Anyway, that's my wasp talk for the evening. So yeah, this is the only one that I kind of feel like sort of kind of worked. And I mean, we could play with this a little bit more and maybe try some other colors of it. But I don't know if I'm really super into that tonight. But I also don't really have an idea. I had this, well, I didn't have this idea. I was given this idea, and I don't know. Sounds like we should paint wasps. Yeah, maybe. I was actually kind of thinking about maybe doing my like something inspired by my beetle, but also like I have already done a mani sort of inspired by this beetle, and I've done this beetle tattoo, and I've done a lot of beetle manis, so I don't know. I'm seeing cheering for wasps. Different colors of wasps. I could do wasps. We could do a wasp stream. Y'all really want to do a wasp stream, huh? This is like, the glue is not really coming up the way it normally would. I'm just trying to clean these mats. Yeah, the beetles are always fun for shifty polish. Speaking of shifty polish, this one that I'm wearing on my other hand here is so good. I don't know if you'll really be able to tell just how shifty it is in this, in this lighting, because it's like, I feel like it's hard to sort of get a sense of. Yeah, you're mostly just getting the green and a little bit of the blue, I think. But like at extreme angles, it will also give you like a super blue and also even a purple. I guess we can kind of see a little bit of it there. Anyway, lotus mantis. I don't even know which mantis a lotus mantis is. Green. Hi, Jules. Welcome. Jules waltzes in and just says green. Yeah, yes, it is similar to Geralt, but lighter. In fact, it might even be the same multichrome pigment. This is a rogue lacquer one that I picked up at PBE. Hang on. Sorry, this thing's being annoying. I should have remembered this. It's called the Breakfast Club. And it's like, I feel like you can see some more of the shifts in the bottle just because of the extreme angles. But the big thing that she did that made this is super interesting is that she added a little white to it, and it completely changes the character of it. Yeah, it's not like Geralt at all, but it vibes like Geralt. But it's totally not like Geralt. Don't I have Geralt? I feel like I have Geralt. Kat, tell me if I have Geralt. I want to see if I have it. Do I have it? That's a wildflower, right? Let's see. I'm just doing the quickest check. I'm sorry. I just gotta know. Because I feel like I had this one. I found it. Important research. Okay, hang on. Oh, I gotta shake this up. It's definitely not the same, but it's got vibes. It's got vibes. I feel like it's probably maybe similar enough for you specifically, but definitely not similar enough for me to consider it a dupe. Kat and I draw our dupe lines at very, very different locations. It's like way greener, but it vibes similar. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It kind of like gives me like pastel camo but prettier. Definitely hits the same yum. Absolutely agree. Anyway, I'm gonna put my glue away. This is the prime ingredient in my my DIY peely base that I make. It's literally just that and this. That's what I make my DIY peely base out of. And it's the best. I actually have been testing peely base from Monarch. They just came out with an easy peel base. It dries a little slower. So I feel like for swatching, it's maybe not quite 100% ideal for me. But I will say it peels so clean. I left a mani on my right hand for like 3 days just to test how it pops off sort of after more normal wear length. And I didn't have anything pop on its own. But when I did go to pop it after like an oil soak, they came off beautiful and clean. So, do I have to pay more attention with pointy nails not to break them? I'm going to tell you, I actually find with, when I've had square or coffin, or like squoval, when I've experimented with those shapes, I've had a lot more breakage than I have with almond. And I think it's because there's less surface area further away from my nail. So I'm less likely to just like sort of miss slightly by a couple of millimeters. You know what I mean? For some reason, for me, almond seems to break less. And I do think that is all about just not having so much sticking out on the sides to either side of my finger. But I mean, just having longer nails in general, I obviously have to pay more attention than I do when they're nubs. Yeah, I'm sure that you're right, Kat, that nail matrix comes into play with ideal shapes. And I think some of it is going to be like, yes, your nail matrix, your nail bed shape, but also some of it is going to be how you use your hands. And I know that some people have said that when they wear an almond, they're like constantly losing the little tip, but they're fine with like a coffin or a square or a squoval. So, I think it's probably a combination of factors. I do occasionally lose the tip. Actually, I have this nail right now is actually a fake nail. I have a press-on that nail, which I think I've done a pretty good job of disguising, I gotta say. I'm impressed with myself. But yeah, that's a fake nail right now because I lost like a fair chunk of that nail. You can see the line there. And that's literally just like a clear press on, and I painted the underside with just like Hello Taco Butter Me Up, but like watered down with one of my regular smoothing bases. I just like thinned it out with that and then painted it on the bottom of the underside of the nail. Because I just have too much swatching to do. I was like, I need to just have, and I'll disclose it when I post them. Especially for like a couple of them are a little more sheer, and I do think it matters when they're more sheer. To let people know if you've done something like that. But yeah. So I'm going to be rocking a press on that finger for a little while until it grows in a bit. Looks like 3 weeks or so. It's about 3 weeks growth. What am I doing, y'all? What the hell am I doing? Am I doing wasps? I'm doing wasps. Okay. Hold up. Let me find... Did Jamie left? Hang on. There. Now you have Jamie back. Y'all should have let me know that she had moved. Okay. Let's see. Wasps. What kind of wasps should we do? Let's do a cuckoo wasps. What are they? Chrysididae? Yeah. These guys come in a bunch of different colors. Hang on, let me bring this up so y'all can see what I'm looking at here. I'll just close my other tabs. And you... Yes, okay. There we go. Okay. So these are Chrysididae wasps. Whoa, hey. Let's get this a reasonable shape and size. There we go. All right. You're not gonna let me make it wider but not shorter? Really? Okay, well, whatever. I guess that's the shape I get to have it. Oh, okay. I guess if I change that, it changes this. I should have probably realized that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there are purple wasps. Am I going to freehand the wasps? Of course I'm going to freehand the wasps. There's a purple wasp right there. That's a pretty one. And then we've got, let's see. That's a lovely, I like the little super intense blue butt there. I don't know if I can do 5-hole wasps. That might be a big ask. But we can certainly, there's a nice purple. Oh, that's Bug Gwen's photo. I know Bug Gwen. Ghislaine, hello, welcome. We seem to have settled on wasps for my Manny tonight by accident. But you know, when chat says they want something, they usually get it. Not always. So what do you think? Should we, like, I'm feeling like maybe we start with one wasp on the thumb, see how it goes, and then decide how many more wasps we can do. Because, like, maybe I can do, like, one full wasp on the thumb, and then maybe have, like, other wasps peeking in. Like a butt here, a little head with some antennae on another one. You know what I mean? Yeah, these are called, the common name for this group is cuckoo wasps. And yeah, they're very real, and quite beautiful. So yeah, we could do some of this sort of thing. Okay, so I don't think I want to do an all purple one though, because this is, I kind of like this one with the sort of reddish booty. It's got a little bit of purple, but it's also got some blues and greens in it. This is an interesting one as well. And I like that one a lot. This one's cool. All right, I feel like I might want to go with this one. So cuckoo wasps, the thing with cuckoo wasps is, like cuckoo birds, they get their name from the cuckoo birds. So they basically hijack. They're a parasitoid, I believe. They hijack the nests from other critters and lay their egg in there and steal resources. Hey, Ray. Ray, I talked about it at the beginning of the stream. I experimented some with Mako Manny's technique, and I was really struggling with it. So let's see if we can open image in new tab and get a bigger reference. Yeah, I was really struggling with it. It was not, it works best using pure glue, but then if I use pure glue, then it was like literally 40 minutes and it was not dry at all. So I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But then we started talking about wasps, because I had an incredibly tiny parasitoid wasp come and hang out with me for a minute. So I think we're going to do a wasp. What should I do for background color? Or should we go naked? Should we go naked, nearly naked? Some sort of shimmer topper? Or something else? A creme? A creme would probably work really well. A creme or a jelly that actually, because these guys are so like multi-chromy, shimmery. It would probably pop better against a jelly or a creme. What if I used like what if I used like a jelly green? Hang on. I have some cracked. It's not. Hang on. I think I have. I love you so much. That could be a cute base. Sunlit moss. I don't know, what do you think? Should we go green for the background? So this one's a jelly green. And this one is a creme green. Did I get the lurid PBE swag bag green? I did. I'm a little concerned that using... Hang on. Sorry. I'm a little concerned that using a shimmer for the base will kind of detract from the animal itself, because it's going to be like multi-chromy and shifty and sparkly. So I feel like for that reason, a creme or a jelly base is a smarter choice. Like, I feel like it's going to give a better overall look. Like the jelly. I'm seeing a lot of votes for the jelly. Okay, let's do that then. Okie dokie. Matte background. That could be cool. Can sunlit moss be used on another finger? I don't see why not. Peggy has control over the too much that you do not. Yeah. That could be fun, Najwa, actually, because those, I feel like those will go really nicely together. Najwa is suggesting do this as a background for nails that don't have art on them. Let me just swipe this out real quick side by side and see if they're as close to each other as they appear. Because I really like that idea. I think that could look really nicely. Look really nicely. Work really nicely, or look really nice. I just went ahead and mashed those two together. I mean, they're not exact, but they're pretty close. I feel like they're close enough to work. Could maybe do a coat of... What if I did a coat of sunlit moss underneath? Or not sunlit moss. Love You So Matcha underneath. Could actually try this as well. I'm going to try both of these with a coat of the lurid over top of them, and once it dries a little bit, and we'll see if that works. Yeah, y'all really like the too much, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with too much. Too much is great. It's just I tend to be slightly more restrained than some of y'all. All right. I appreciate contrast a lot. So I like when something that is very very sparkly is set against something that lets the sparkle pop more, as opposed to just sort of taking over. Yeah, getting some sparkle on the art nails might sort of even things out a little bit, because you won't see as much of the background. I agree. I do feel like I would want to have more than just the thumb. So if I did one coat of... Oh, you know what? I really like it with a little bit of I Love You So Matcha underneath it. What do y'all think? I like the lurid over top of the I Love You So Matcha, this one here. I definitely want to have at least 2 nails that have nail art on them, though, because I am a big fan of having at least 2 nails that are accent nails. And I just saw, yeah, there's like a cat hair. Fuck. Always. Matcha is the lighter one, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that kind of helps bring the lurid a little closer in tone. Because otherwise the lurid is very appley. And the matcha is a little slightly olivey. But using the matcha underneath the lurid kind of pulls it a little bit closer. Morwen, hello, welcome. Yeah, it is also nice over the sunlit moss. It's just a little more contrast. What if you use I Love You So Matcha as a base, use the darker shade to draw a bit of a shadow of a plant, and then use the lurid as a top? Ray! That's it. That's it. That's the one. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Okay. Ray, that was a brilliant idea. I think that's going to work out really nicely. Okay, so we're going to do 2 coats of I Love You So Matcha on all the nails, and then assess where we're at. I don't mind with this color having some translucency to it. I think, especially with the shimmer and everything, and nail art, I think it's going to look nice, even if we have lots of visible nail line. Yeah, that was a serious big brain moment, Ray. I am delighted. So if we do this guy on the thumb, and then maybe we pick a different one to go on the ring finger, and then on the others we do the leaf motif. So for the other one, I don't think I want to go with one that's completely green. Maybe one of the blue ones. That could be interesting, like a blue and purple. Or one of the rainbow guys. These ones are super cute. I really like these ones. And I also really like the blue ones. We get the blue ones around here. And they're just adorable. And so small. Blurple bugs. What kind of nail art brushes do I use? You tried some brushes you bought a while back and they're terrible. Molly, I am so sorry to hear that you have terrible nail art brushes. So I use a combination, but these days the overwhelming majority of the stuff that I do with either my Cirque detailer, which is this one here, or my Starly Nano, which is even smaller. My Cirque is looking a little messed up these days, but you can see, I think, the difference. The Cirque is the longer one. The Nano is super teensy. These are what I use for detail stuff. But, you know, it does depend. So if I need to fill a larger area, a lot of the time I'll use this guy from Dimension Nails, which started out kind of round, but has gotten a bit... Let me just moisten it here a little so that I can show you. Yeah, so it sort of started out closer to this shape. So I use this one sometimes for larger areas or for like certain kinds of leaf shapes and stuff, petal shapes. And then I also have the Starly Mega Point liner, which is like super long, and another Starly one, which is a macro point, so a little shorter. But I will say the Starly versions of the macro and the mega point, the longer ones, I have not found to be significantly better than the cheap ones that I got on Amazon for like $10 for a set of like 6 brushes. So, yeah, I will say the Cirque one is worth the money. I have not found one as fine as this in any of those cheap sets on Amazon. And the Starly Nano Point, I think, is worth the money to spring for if you want to do real detailed work. Are they both weighted? The Nano Point certainly feels sturdy. The Cirque is extremely light. Venus, hello, welcome. What brushes did I get that aren't great? I mean, I've gotten several just real cheap sets on Amazon. That, you know, the problem with the real cheap sets on Amazon is they're very hit or miss from what I found. So some of them have been fine and some of them have been absolute trash. But yeah, you just don't necessarily know what you're getting. And like you go back, you know, and the same exact listing isn't there anymore, and you look for things that look the same, and you know, maybe they're the same and maybe they aren't. So it's a little bit challenging to sort of really be able to make recommendations, because a lot of the companies that are making those real cheap things, they'll just substitute in whatever if they don't have the one that's actually in the listing. So the quality and the details can really vary a lot. So yeah. Oh, that was a question to Molly. Okay. Well, hopefully Molly got the garbage ones that I got on Amazon, or the less good ones that I got on Amazon. So like I said, some of the ones I've gotten there have been fine and others have been not good at all. I really liked Dimension Nails like cleanup brushes, but they're no longer around. What polish is this? This is Cracked Love You So Matcha, which is one of their recent-ish jellies. I think it came out this spring, didn't it? Am I remembering that correctly? I got it fairly recently. It's a beautiful color. It would look gorgeous on your nails as well, Venus. I am confident of that. I think this color would look really beautiful on you. I really enjoy Cracked jellies. Don't you swatch for them? Do you swatch for them? Or do you just have some? I know I've seen you wearing Cracked. You got them a few years ago, but they probably came from Amazon, Molly? Yeah. Yeah, the ones that I have from Amazon are all several years ago. I kind of stopped buying those a little while ago as well. I've kind of mostly stopped buying from Amazon at all these days. I mean, every once in a while there's something that I truly don't know where else I can go for it, and I'll search around and not be able to find anything. So, you know, every once in a while I'll resort to it, but trying to avoid it as much as possible. Oh, you got gifted a few times. Okay. That must be why I was thinking you swatched for them. Yeah, I have a bunch of Cracked stuff that I've purchased. I really like their crumbs and jellies. Like, not that I don't also like their other formulas. I have a few of their sort of like, you know, fancier specialty formulas that I really enjoyed. But I really feel like she just does such a good job with crumbs and jellies. All right. Jammy Dodgers is like fully snoring over there. I really wish y'all could hear her. It's incredibly funny. Yeah, Like, on the one hand, I feel like I don't wear jellies that much, so sometimes I kind of feel bad buying jellies. But on the other hand, when you need one, you really, really need one, and nothing else will do. And sometimes for nail art, I really need a jelly background. So I keep buying them. She keeps making them, and I keep buying them. It was Dimension Nails that first turned me on to jellies. Actually, it was the milk jellies, the plant-based milk jelly collection that Dimension Nails did. Holy heck, those were amazing. And I bought backups of a bunch of them when Dimension went out of business. Because they're just so good. But yeah, I bought a few backups, and when I first gotten those, I had no idea. And like, jellies have a very different kind of formula. You can't apply them the exact same way that you would apply, a creme or a shimmer or a flaky or whatever. Like, I find, like, at least for me, every formula sort of has its own kind of optimal application technique, or maybe not optimal, but what works best for me personally. And I had to really change my technique for the jellies to get anything that I was at all happy with. But yeah, that was a fantastic set from them. And that was what put me on to jellies to begin with. And since then, oh boy, have I been enjoying the cracked jellies. Okay, so let's add a layer with sunlit moss here. We're going to do on the quote-unquote non-nail art nails. I'm just going to like rough in some sort of planty kind of shapes. And hopefully this will just look normal and good. Once we're all done. I feel like this will be one of those kinds that has parallel leaves. I forget what they call that because I'm not a plant nerd. I'm a bug nerd. So I don't remember what they call it when the leaves poke out of the stem at the same point. Who here is enough of a leaf or a plant nerd to know what that's called? One of y'all's got to be enough of a plant nerd to know that. I know I got nerds in here with me. Oh, thank you, Venus. That's very kind of you to say. All right. We'll do that, and then let's do some out from here. Buy something? Yeah, thanks, Jules. Buy something. They're bisexual plants. I don't know, man. I do not know. I should make this one look more different, probably, since I'm not doing the same shape for it. My brain is offering the word pinnate, but I don't think that that's correct for this. I think that's something different. Sometimes my brain just offers random words and expects me to be able to do something with them, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea where you came up with that. I'm not going to trust that shit. All right. I need a little thinner on here. I really need to get a microphone for the cat. Because every time she gets going, I really wish I could, like, turn a microphone on and share her delightful snores with you. But I know that I'm not going to be able to get this microphone close enough without waking her up, ever. Najwa, you were only half paying attention. What was the question? The question was, what do you call it when the leaves are, like, opposite of each other on the stem? I don't know what that's called. As opposed to, like, staggered. Bipinnate? I don't know. Ray, are you just asking questions? Like, are you speaking from a realm of knowledge? Because I don't have this knowledge. If this knowledge exists in my brain, I don't know about it. I'm asking y'all because I can't look it up. Because I'm trying to entertain you with the painting. Come on, this audience participation. You're supposed to be asking the Google machine. Don't actually use Google, though, y'all. It sucks these days. And they're fully evil now. I use Kagi, Kagi. It's so much better. It's like 1,000,000 times better. It's like, it's not just fucking ads and AI bullshit. It's really nice. I like it a lot. Opposite phyllotaxy. No. No. That's nothing. That is not a word that I know. No, there's a better word for this. There's a word that they use, like, in the like, guides for idiots that don't know shit. I refuse to accept this word that you've found. It's symmetrical. Trust me, I have a brown thumb. You and me both, girl. I am not a plant nerd. I care about plants in as much as there are bugs that I love that desperately need the plants to exist. And so that's the entire level of care I have. So we went and put in this whole beautiful native garden, and like we basically converted our entire yard to all native, pollinator friendly plants. We've got shrubs, we've got various like grasses, we've got flowering plants, we got a tree, and I don't really give a crap about any of it except what bugs like this. Are there bugs that like this? Okay, cool. Let's have this one. It's native and it supports native bugs? Good. Let's do it. I am all for it. Opposite pinnate is what you think we're looking for. So my brain was right when it said pinnate? It knew something? The hell? Y'all coming up with words I've never even heard of. Like, I know I'm a plant idiot, but I've definitely looked up stuff before and not come up with that one. There's a wild number of descriptors for how the leaves are arranged, but generally leaves that are opposite from each other are pinnate. So my brain actually knew a thing, sort of. Kind of. I mean, we're not going to give it too much credit here. All right, I think that's going to be it for the non-wasp art. And hopefully we don't smudge that when we put the lurid on top of those. All you're hearing is penne and now you want pasta? Valid. I could use some pasta. Actually, we have the makings for ramen for later on this week, and I can't tell you how badly I want ramen. Probably gonna make it tomorrow night, because ramen good. Like a tofu ramen. I'm excited. Bum 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 bum. Hey, wasps. I want to top coat those though before I start doing wasps. I think the 2 wasp nails. Just because I want to have some room to fuck up. I don't like not having room to fuck up. Probably not supposed to swear, but whatever. Okay. So which one had I decided on? I decided on that one, and then I think I want to do one of the blurple ones. This guy. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so we have this guy here, and then we have this guy here. This guy is like, that's not the greatest picture. Maybe there's a better photo of one like that. Well, this one's nice. That might be better. Or... Maybe this one. Let's see what the resolution is like here. That looks better. All right, Chris Lucope. You're going to be my guy for this. I don't know who did this one. Doesn't seem to have a photographer signature on it. Bum, 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 bum. So that one's going to go on the thumb, and then this one will go on the ring finger. Right? Right. You only know how to make Top Ramen? I don't know what Top Ramen is. Is that like a brand? I use a meal kit thing. We can fuck with the color on this. We can make it more blue. I might want to pull in some more purple and blue in the extreme angles. It doesn't have to be these precise colors. But I do need to pull some colors though, don't I? I'm gonna need some fun shimmery and chromy colors. It might be easier actually to do it mostly in black and use shimmer like toppers to get the right colors, because I have a lot more colors of shimmer toppers than I do colors of just plain like multi-chromes. So let's see what I've got. Here, I'm gonna give you Jammy Dodgers while I hunt. All right. I'm gonna start with my Hollow Taco shimmers, just because I have a fair number of them. Don't have all of them, but I have several of them. And then I have some BCB ones. Okay. BCB multi-chrome hollows. I don't actually have very many of those, believe it or not. Top ramen, the package with the seasoned packet that you can get. Oh, okay. So like the instant, like cup of noodles style ramen. The classic for those in Canada, or at least in Ontario, was Mr. Ramen. But yeah, that's not what we're having. I use we do meal kits, so it's like, you know, a reasonable amount of the prep work is kind of already done for you, because you don't have to like find a recipe and figure out, you know, what you need for it, and then go to the grocery store and get the things and then chop up the things and then do all the stuff. You can just kind of go, I would like this meal, and then it comes to you, and you know, you have to chop some stuff, but, you know, not too much. It's pretty good. That's what I like. I don't think that I have a super, super, super blue. This one's not quite the same style either. That one's like weirdly milkier. I wonder if the... Ooh, actually, that one's pretty good. Yeah, that's not bad. All right, those are the BCB ones that I have. And then I have some Hollow Taco ones. I think this one's more purpley. And this one's more orangey. Kind of trying to line them up a little bit so that they're in a similar order on here. I think this one's sort of pinky. Whoop. Hey there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the way to go. Let me go back to Nails Up display here. So I think between all of these, we can come up with a pretty good... I think this is going to be the best way to go. Do it all on black. So we'll basically block in the wasp in black, and then add the shimmers in the correct locations. And that's going to be a lot more consistent than trying to come up with some multi-chromes that will go together. Because I just don't have that many multi-chromes that don't have just a shitload of other stuff in them. Because I'll tell you a secret. I feel like multi-chromes are a little bit boring. Like, they're, you know, I don't dislike them. I just feel like they're not the most interesting. They're not the most interesting formula out there, in my opinion. And like, you can add stuff to them, but a lot of the stuff that you can add to them kind of just gets lost in it because it's too opaque. So now I say all that while wearing a really beautiful multi-chrome that I was raving about earlier on in the stream, but I stand by my statement. I'm gonna go ahead and put the lurid coat on the other nails. Those are dry enough now to do this. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is fun. This is really... Ray, this was such a good idea. You were so right. And I was so right to recognize how right you were. I think that makes us both equally geniuses, right? Pretty sure. Look at how cool that looks. Oh, I love it. All right, now we just have to make some badass wasps. Blasphemy, multichrome mixed with everything. Here's the problem. I'm a flaky bitch. I love flakies. You put flakies in a multichrome, you just have a textured multichrome. Hollow can work. Hollow glitter can work. Reflective glitter can work. But I like flakies, generally speaking, and I find flakies in a multichrome just does not work. It's just my opinion. Which is correct. It's just my correct opinion. Maymay, you have come at the right time. Maymay, we're doing wasps. Okay, no, multichrome flakes, like, if the flake itself is multichrome and it's in a base that is not multichrome, that's a completely different thing. All right? That's a completely different thing. The problem is that if you put any kind of flake into a multichrome base, then you end up completely covering the flake. So it's just a texture that is the same color as the base. Unless you make the multichrome base incredibly dilute, in which case it doesn't look nice. That's my opinion. That's a multichrome flake, though. That's different. Oh, you're talking about putting a flaky topper on a multichrome? Yeah, absolutely. Put anything on top of a multichrome, that's great. Yeah, the super fine, like, this style of multichrome, there's just not so much you can put in it that it won't just completely coat. And that's my problem with multichromes. It doesn't mean I hate all multichromes. Definitely not. There's lots of multichrome stuff that I love. I just don't tend to go for them because I feel like a lot of makers just put the multichrome pigment in and call it a day, or throw in some flakes that get completely coated. Neither of those things does it for me. So, this one I really, really like because she did an incredibly genius thing and just added just a little hint of white to the base, which just completely changes it, makes it so unique and interesting. Okay. You forgive me? Thank you. Yeah, larger particle multichromes can do interesting things. I agree. Wasp. It's wasp o'clock. It's wasping time. All right. Wait. I wonder if I want to find a different pose for this, actually. Do I want to find a different pose for this? Maybe I can use this pose. And then... I kind of want something that looks a bit more natural, like it's in flight, but maybe I can just adjust that. I don't mind this pose. I swear to God, literally we're an hour into the stream and I haven't even started the wasps. What is going on? I'm just going to go with the original one that I have. Magnetic where the mag particles are multichrome? Yeah. Multichrome magnetics are amazing. They're the fucking best. I love a multichrome magnetic. Again, that's not a multichrome polish, though. It's a completely different thing. Okay. So, we're going to go with... Do I want to do it that way? Yeah, we're going to do it this way. Okay. So we got a big butt. biggest buttus. Try and be a little more precise than this, Peggy. Just a tiny bit would be nice. You know, or not. Go ahead and slap that paint down wherever you feel like it. This is why I have to have top coat on first so that I'm not completely fucking it up. I can actually refine the shape slightly sometimes. Yeah, I didn't even start in the base till 40 minutes in. Are you complaining? You always tell me that you come here for the chit chat and the hangout, and here you are complaining that I didn't start the nail art soon enough. What the hell, Ray? How very dare. I'm offended. I am, of course, kidding. Yes, we had a teeny tiny itty bitty little wasp on cam, and that's what caused all of this. It was an itty bitty little parasitoid wasp. I'm not sure which kind, though. Okay, you have sort of a fat thingy happening here. You got like a big shield underneath there. And I actually think your butt needs to be a little bigger. Just a wee bit bigger. I like big butts. And I cannot lie. All right, and then the head is like kind of a little, just a wee nugget of a head. And some little jaws down here. They got little chewing bits. And then I need some thinner on this. You're sad you missed the mini wasp? Well, you can always go back to the beginning of stream in the VOD and see the itty bitty baby, tiny, wasn't actually a baby, tiny little parasitoid wasp. Do not be sad about missing baby tiny wasp. Okay. We need some little antennae. We need some little leggies. We got like a little leggy here. And put a little leggy like here. And then a little leggy back here. Okay, gonna have to adjust that little leggy, but that's okay. That's what we put down that top coat for. This little leggy went too far. This little leggy probably could have gone a little bit further. Okay. And then the wings, I think I will add in after we get the shimmer colors down. Yeah, I think I don't actually have a black jelly per se, but what I will do is I will thin out the black creme a lot to give me a nice thin wash for that. So let's start with a little bit of a purpley tone in a couple of spots. Not a whole lot of purple on this one, but there is a little. So we have a bit of purple up in this area. And then I think just a little bit around the rump here. Or dark brown jelly. Yeah, dark brown jelly could definitely work. Again, I think I would have to make something, but that's okay. I don't mind doing that. This one's mostly sort of pinky in the butt. They're pinky in the butt. Thanks, brain. Thank you. Sometimes I really wonder about the old noggin. Get some more sort of orangey tones there. Again, I'll get some orangey tones up in the front of this area here. And then we're going to go into some blues and greens. All right, so we have a fair bit of this real bluey blue here in the back area of the thorax. And a bit down in here as well. And some on the head. I feel like y'all aren't able to really see the shimmer quite right yet, but I will try to give you a bit more of a better view of that once I'm closer to done with adding all this. Okay, green. We want some green in here. And then I think just a tiny bit of this yellowy color. It's not really a yellow per se, but some yellower green. And that is gonna go a little bit here, a little bit here. Just a couple little highlights. The legs are technically also chromy, but I kind of want to leave them black here to just avoid distracting from the color of the main animal. I also feel like this middle leg needs to get thinned out some. It's like too thick. There we go, that's a little better. All right. There's the wasp body. And then we need to do some wingies. Do I have a brown jelly? I have Chinoto, but that's kind of reddish. Really have a brown jelly per se, but maybe I can use a tiny bit of Chinoto in with a little bit of a thinned out black. That might do the trick. Let's see. See if we can kind of get a good... Yeah. I think that might do the trick. course, the problem is doing this without fucking up what I've already got here now. Of course, you can't really see any of what I'm doing there. Okay, get some outlines in here. And then do some fill. Do the fill super thin. Well, that's actually the wrong direction, but that's okay. Just thin that out. You are ring magnetizing and touched the ring to the polish twice. I can't tell you how many times I have done that. It's extremely annoying. I'm also going to add some little white highlights in a few spots, mostly on the wings to try and help define them a little. But I think probably maybe also on the wasp itself. And I don't want it to be like stark white, so I'm going to actually add some white to this. So I think that will give us a better highlight. Than a proper white would. Okay. Try and sort of hint at some veins here. All right. And then, do I want to add a little bit of white highlighting to the body, or do I want to leave it like this? I'm not sure. Maybe I want to leave it like this. I like this little friend. I think he is cute. I am a little like, hey, Peggy, why'd you put it so much on this side and not so much on this side? But, you know, shit happens. Placement's not always my strong suit. All right. Let's top coat the lurid nails. The ones that have the plants on them. Ooh, and apparently I need a little cleanup on that one. Didn't realize I got some in the ditch there on that guy. Highlight the eye a bit maybe? Yeah, I might. Might not be a bad idea. Okay. Oh, and a little bit there. Hey, and a little bit over there too. Managed to miss all kinds of spots here with my cleanup, didn't I? That's all right. We can clean up now. It don't matter. Okay. Yeah, maybe just a little. Maybe I will add just a couple of little spots of white, but thinned out because I don't want anything that's like super stark. I feel like it'll just stick out too much. Sonia, hello, welcome. We're painting a little wasp friend. It's a cuckoo wasp. All right. So a little highlight at the top of the eye there. Maybe a tiny highlight for the ocelli, which is a trio of light sensing organs on the top of a wasp's head. Welcome to Wasp School with Peggy. I think I'm just going to actually do just a tiny... Oh, that was too much. That was too much. That's better. Use my other tiny brush. My tiny brush, not just my medium tiny brush. Okay. Yeah, we'll do just a little, just a itty bitty actual white along just the edge. Is that going to be too much? That's going to be too much. You know, sometimes you do too much. It can be hard to know when to stop. Okay. I'm going to stop futzing with this guy. Similar to the ones on the tops of some lizard heads? Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't know if they're similar structurally. They probably aren't similar structurally, but in terms of like function, yeah, they just do light sensing for quick evasion. So if a predator comes from above, they sense the change, the shadow, and get the hell out. Okay, so I will do a second one on this other nail. The bug ambiance, yes. Okay. I'm going to try hard not to screw up this one since I think we did okay on the first one. It's hard, you know. Sometimes you go through and you do a good job on one thing and then you get, to the second part of it and all of a sudden you're a damn idiot who doesn't know how to do anything. It's a real problem. Okay, this cuckoo wasp is a little skinnier. So don't know if it's just a species difference or if this one's just not as well fed or what the deal is, but could be also a sex difference. Sometimes males versus females will have some differences in how chubby they are. Usually females are chubbier. Because they gotta be. Alright, you're gonna be sort of this shape. You've yet to see that happen to me on stream. Yeah, I guess. I've been reasonably lucky on stream for the most part. I also haven't really attempted like super challenging stuff on stream as a general rule. I tend to stream stuff that's kind of in my wheelhouse. But definitely there have been, I assure you, there have been times that I have done a real good job of several things, and then like on the last nail I just absolutely dookie all over the place. It is very much a thing that happens to me on occasion. And then I end up doing that last nail like 5 times before I'm finally happy with it. There's like, I don't know if it's the wasp again or if it's a fly or what, but somebody just landed on my face. And I don't appreciate that kind of behavior. I think it's rude. All right, I messed up the antennae a little bit there, but I think I can fix it. As much as I love my little bug friends, I do think that sometimes they do a bad job of understanding our personal space needs. You know? Even when you're a big fan of bugs, you don't necessarily always want them to be like literally on your face. Okay. Meme, you have returned with food. Everything I do is challenging? Listen. I'm not saying the stuff I do is easy. I'm just saying that there's stuff that I know that I tend to do a reasonably good job of without having to like sacrifice small animals to some obscure old god. And there's stuff that I'm going to struggle with. It doesn't mean that the things that come more easily to me are easy. It just means that they are in my wheelhouse. Like, you know those what's her name? Burrito nails? Is that what she calls herself? She does those incredible, like, swirly things with the perfect little stars and everything. I have tried a bunch of times to do manis like that, and every single time, I feel like I am an idiot who has never picked up a paintbrush. There's something about, like, my swirls always feel clumsy and, like, just not quite the right shape and inelegant, and hers are always so perfect and beautiful. And it's just, that's just not what I'm good at. Polished Mess. Hello, welcome. Was I talking about bug gods? No, I was talking more about nail polish gods. That you have to make sacrifices to in order to do really complex nail art that is not the kind of thing that you excel at. It's possible that some of those also happen to be bug gods. I don't know. There might very well be some overlap between nail gods and bug gods. Okay. Leggies. Let's see. Okay, so this leggy is going to be like this. Come on. Oh, you're going to be too fat there. I can see there's too much on the brush there. There we go. And then this leggy will come out and be like this. Now I don't have enough on the brush. You know, it's like it wants to fight. It wants to fight me. Okay, and then the front leggy. go. That'll do the trick. Sonyo, you excel at having sparkly shit on your nails, my friend. And I think that's beautiful. Okay, so this one, I do want to go a little further into the purple than the actual reference image does. But not super purple. I don't want to like pull into the plummy colors. I want to go more, just a little bit more indigo. So I'm gonna do some indigo at like some of the edges of things where I feel like there'd be less light hitting it. And then also the top of the head, most of the head actually, and then we'll go into the blue. Najwa excels at making messes, you know. You got to be good at something, and if what you're good at is making messes, then I think you should just make the best darn messes that you can make. Okay, this guy's going to be mostly blue. You also excel at making a mess. You're a god mess instead of a goddess. I mean, your name is Polished Mess, so that checks out. All right, and then I want to add a little bit of green to this, but I think I'm going to use this green instead of the other green. Yeah, you two hang out together too much, I think, is the problem. Okay. So we do some green in these parts and a little green up in here. And then we got a Ms. Frizzle is your personal hero. I mean, Ms. Frizzle is great. Okay, so we got some pretty good blues and blurples and a little bit of green in there. And then I need to mix up my my wing color again. So we do a little bit of the brown jelly, a teensy tiny bit of black, and then some thinner. Might not have quite enough of the brown in there. Yeah, I want a little bit more of the brown in here. The Magic School Bus catchphrase, take chances, make mistakes, get messy. I actually, I have seen the Magic School Bus when I was babysitting children who were watching the Magic School Bus. So I'm familiar with the concept, but I was a little too old for the Magic School Bus when it came around. I do think it is a delightful show, and I appreciate it. But yeah, I was just not quite in the target demographic by the time that came around anymore. So. Okay, this one there's not quite as much wing showing. Sylvia, you haven't seen it? Sonyo, it does not surprise me in the least that you have been called Ms. Frizzle. That makes so much sense to me. And I'm sure that you 100% take that as just the massive compliment that it is. Hard for you to imagine a time without Magic School Bus. I mean, the vast majority of human history has existed without even electricity. So, you know, it's not that far-fetched. Hard to imagine a time before the Magic School Bus. Yeah. Sometimes you really make me feel old. Okay. Are we going to be able to get some highlighting on here without completely fucking this up? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe, baby. I'm going to put a little highlight where this leg goes in. Because I feel like it's not really... There we go. Okay. Almost done with this. Also, I would like to point out that even though I didn't even start doing my base until 40 minutes into stream, I'm still going to be basically finished in 2 hours. I did not expect that, to be honest. Let's put just a little bit of that. I'm not happy with how the highlight on the wing came out, so we're going to redo it a bit. Okay. Come on. I am struggling with this wing for some reason. Okay. There. That's a little better. I think I am happier with that. There it is. Yeah, it was a pretty fast one. I think because I decided to only do 2 actually detailed nails, that makes a big difference. But also, like, I do paint a lot of bugs, and so I think I'm kind of... I've gotten a little better at, like, shorthanding the bug shapes and making them look at least sort of reasonable. Christina, hello, welcome. You've been silent. Welcome to the stream. I almost never think before starting nail art. I believe that your statement is true for most people who plan, but I don't plan. What bug is this, Polished Mess? These are cuckoo wasps. They come in all kinds of colors. Oh well, there's a nice little poster of let's see, open image in new tab. Yeah, this got some of the Can you try to maybe... Thank you. So this is just some of the colors that they can come in. But yeah, they're neato. I really like them a lot. And we have them in North America, which is often surprising when it comes to like really cool, super colorful bugs. A lot of the time people assume that everything that is super colorful and sparkly and whatnot in the way of bugs is going to be, from somewhere exotic, some exotic tropical location. And to a large extent that can be true, but we do also have a lot of real fun little critters. And these guys right here, we have one of these species locally. So, hello, Sassy Dog Mom, welcome. We decided on wasps, cuckoo wasps. Christina, you were painting your nails so you couldn't type much? Well, that is always allowed. I'm delighted that you've been enjoying listening to it and watching while painting your nails. Sonia, the last mani you did, the one where your nail broke, changed 3 times before you actually started on it? Yeah, see that? I just dive in head first. I plan nothing. I dive in normally. The most planning I do, I plan so much more on these live streams where like someone is going to actually watch me do it because I feel like I'm on a little bit of a clock. And so I do feel like I need to at least have some, like I can't futz around as much and just make shit up as I go along the way that I do when I'm just doing it for myself. But yeah, we had an incredibly tiny parasitoid wasp that joined us right near the beginning of stream, very early on in stream. And so we decided that it would be cute to do a wasp mani, but not the same type that came and visited me. The type that came and visited me was one of the ones that most people would mistake for, a gnat or a fruit fly or something, just a super tiny little guy. But you can tell by the shape of the body and the antennae. They look quite different. All right. I think you are dry enough for top coat. You are not quite. I just did a smudge-free top coat because I wouldn't be too worried about the shimmers smudging, but that black creme that I used will 100% smudge if I just put a regular top coat over it. It'll streak like crazy. Sassy, you're stressed. I can't imagine why anybody would be stressed. Surely there's nothing going on in the world that would stress anybody out. I'm gonna clean things up here while I wait for this to dry enough to top coat. There's been a really interesting wasp kind of thing flying around your school, but you can't get a good picture to send it to me and figure out what it is. You could maybe try describing it. There's a chance I might be able to figure it out, but it is difficult without photos. Did Cats join stream? Yeah, actually, Jamie has returned to her other... Nobody told me that she moved, so I didn't move the cat cam. Y'all didn't let me know that she moved. She's been back and forth between the 2 perches there several times. So I've had to move the camera a couple of times. I also have a budgie as well, but she's in a spot that gets like no light, so... We have not had a Timony visit, though, this stream. Unfortunately, it's just been Jammy and Budgie. Although Budgie is fine with that. She really doesn't want anything to do with Timony. She's like, get that kid away from me. Do not want. He's so, like, timid, though, that I think that we may try some gentle introductions there. Like, she's had, the initial sort of introduction, but she just panics so much. And at first we weren't sure how he would respond, but he's been very good about not sort of pushing Jammy or chasing her. He figured out immediately that Jammy does not want to play and has been very, very nice about that. So Jammy and he are sharing space a lot. And he's been playing so much with Cinnamon. They chase each other around. It's really freaking cute. There's my Jammy Dodger. Such a good girl. Yeah, you a good baby girl. Oh, she's a good girl. Okay. Well, heck, y'all. I think we did good. Yeah, respectful Timony. He's really such a good boy. He's so sweet. He's like an absolute pest about the kitchen, though. He's got this thing. As soon as anybody is standing at the kitchen sink, he immediately has to be between your feet, on your feet, running around your feet, doing little figure eights around your feet the entire time. And he'll play with my ankles a lot. Hi.
I was down at the table eating leftovers,
and
I heard this gentle snoring sound.
Was Timony snoring?
Somewhere. He was
underneath the
ledge underneath the table.
Oh my God.
Snoring. Made this.
So Timony likes to we have a glass top table, in sort of like our little breakfast nook table. We have a glass top table with like a shelf underneath it. That's not like a solid shelf. It's like a metal sort of grid. But it's just big enough that Timony can like crawl in there and sort of wedge himself in. And I don't know if you were able to hear that Brian was snoring, Brian was eating while Timony was sleeping under there and snoring. Snoring in the glass table, yep. It's true there is food in the kitchen, but Najwa, he only gets food twice a day and he behaves differently when it is food time. So like the wet food, we do prepare the wet food at the kitchen counter in that same spot, but it's not, he doesn't act the same way. He acts very excited about food, but he's more focused on like seeing what's on the counter, and he'll sort of like put his paws up against the cupboard door and stuff, and meow. But this other thing that he does on the kitchen mat, it is completely just about getting attention. It's 100% just that he would like pets, please, now. And for some reason, he's decided that this is the place to get pets. It's ridiculously cute. Hello, Heather. You've been lurking. Well, that's allowed. I hope that you have enjoyed the stream. I think I'm going to call it, though. We have been going for 2 hours. I'm going to show the final nail look one more time so that if anybody missed parts of it, you can see. So we've got our little cuckoo wasp friend here. And then Ray's brilliant idea to layer up some greens and put them underneath a coat of the lurid shimmer on those other nails. And then, and then a second different species of cuckoo wasp on the ring finger. Maybe he wants water? No, he has water. He has access to water in the kitchen and upstairs and in a number of other places. So he's got lots of water. It made your day when I sang Pinky in the Butt. I forgot I had done that, but yeah. All right. Thank you all for coming by and streaming and hanging out with me. And yeah, chat did do good. Y'all came up with a very cool concept for this. And Ray, love your contribution for those other nails. So not sure next week. I forget if... Yeah, I don't think I have anything specific planned for next week, so drop your suggestions in the comments or on Discord or on Instagram in my DMs, whatever. It's all good. Don't forget to do the liking and all that shit, and if you haven't subscribed, then please do. And if you have and you like it, then bring a friend next week or another week. All right. Thanks, everybody.